always known that her old Victorian house creaked and groaned at night, but she never suspected that it held secrets beneath its dusty floors. She was an avid collector of antique trinkets and old books, and spent most of her summer break exploring every nook and cranny of the house. But on this particular afternoon, Emily's curiosity led her to a place she had never ventured before: the attic. As she climbed up the narrow staircase, the wooden steps creaked beneath her feet. The air grew thick with dust, and cobwebs clung to the edges of old trunks and forgotten furniture. Emily coughed, covering her mouth with her shirt. She had always thought that the attic was off-limits, but something about today felt different. As she pushed aside a faded velvet curtain, Emily spotted it: a small door hidden behind a tattered tapestry. It blended seamlessly into the wall, as if it had been waiting for her discovery all along. The door was tiny, no larger than 2 feet in height and 1 foot wide. A delicate brass doorknob beckoned to her. Without hesitation, Emily turned the knob and pushed the door open. A soft sigh escaped from the hinges as she stepped through into a miniature world. The air inside was crisp and cool, filled with the scent of old books and fresh grass. A tiny pathway wound its way down the center of the room, lined with delicate flowers that seemed to bloom in every color of the rainbow. Emily's eyes widened as she explored this tiny realm. Towering trees stretched towards the ceiling, their leaves a vibrant green. A miniature lake glimmered in the distance, its surface reflecting the sun like a mirror. She wandered along the pathway, taking in the sights and sounds of this fantastical world. As she walked, Emily noticed that everything was perfectly scaled. The furniture looked no larger than dollhouse pieces, yet it seemed sturdy enough to support countless tiny inhabitants. She spotted a family of mice scurrying about, tending to a garden filled with edible flowers. A group of fairies flitted through the trees, their wings shimmering like stained glass. The more Emily explored, the more she realized that this world was alive. The very air seemed to vibrate with magic. She felt as though she had stumbled into a secret universe, one that existed alongside her own, yet remained hidden from most eyes. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the miniature landscape, Emily decided to follow the pathway further down the hill. She came upon a small village, its houses made of intricately carved wood and tile. Smoke rose from chimneys, carrying the scent of baking bread. The villagers, tiny humans with faces that shone like polished porcelain, welcomed Emily warmly. They offered her tea and pastries, inviting her to join in their festivities. Emily accepted gratefully, feeling a sense of wonder she had never experienced before. As night fell in both worlds, Emily settled into a cozy little cottage at the edge of the village. The villagers retired early, leaving her alone with the soft glow of lanterns and candles. She spent the evening listening to stories from the fairy folk, learning about their history and traditions. But as the hours passed, Emily began to feel a pang of homesickness. She missed her own bed and the familiar comforts of home. The villagers noticed her wistfulness and approached her with concerned expressions. "We will miss you when you leave," said the village elder, a kind-eyed woman with silver hair. "I will always cherish this place," Emily promised. "But I must return to my own world." The villagers nodded, understanding. They gifted Emily a small crystal pendant, one that would allow her to connect with the miniature world whenever she needed it most. As she said goodbye and stepped back through the hidden door, Emily felt changed forever. Her eyes had been opened to a new reality, one that existed alongside the ordinary world, yet waited patiently for those who dared to look. She knew that she would return to this secret attic world, eager to explore its secrets further and learn from its magical inhabitants. And so, each summer, Emily returned to her own world, carrying the memories of the miniature realm with her. The crystal pendant remained a treasured keepsake, reminding her that even in the most ordinary-seeming places, magic waited just beneath the surface, waiting for those brave enough to seek it out.